discipline and prove that it can set the fastest time. Becky, your turn.
Alright, boys and girls, I'm super excited because we get to see the first clash of motorsports. We're staying in the dirt and you know the first opponent because we already saw it in action, the Puma. But for the second, you'll have to listen to my last interview.
Hi, I'm Robbie Madison. I'm freestyle motocross rider. I've done a lot of cool stunts.
As a champion athlete and stunt performer, what does flirting with the limit mean for you?
To me, flirting with the limit is like being in the moment. When you're able to flirt with the limit, you're operating at the full maximum potential that you're able to operate. That's the pinnacle, right? That's peak performance.
And you guys, are you ready to flirt with the limits? Team Hansen? The Ford Puma. Now you know better than anyone what this machine is capable of. You're witnessing a real speed clash. The first one to the finish is the winner. Right now, the bike and the car are on the same course, but to keep things fair, they'll diverge onto separate routes, designed to let each vehicle work to its full potential. The course is about to split. Straight ahead for the car, right for the motorcycle. KTM definitely has the advantage of airtime. She's much better at jumping. But the Puma can deal with asphalt and is more reliable on straights. Both have their strong points. Which one will exploit theirs best? No matter the vehicle, dirt requires reflexes, but above all, instinct. Making the right choices quickly is the key to surviving the race.
Chapter is finished. We're moving on to asphalt vehicles. We start quietly, and I use big quotation marks, with a little warm-up ride on a racing bike.
Boys and girls, this event can seem simple, but it's crucial for our driver. A time attack to test whether the driver can handle the next clash of disciplines. Landmark, and no lie, it's definitely not safe. The RC16 is a little marvel. We had to wait until 2017 to see the RB KTM factory join the competition. The brand has won everything in other competitions, so it was time to see them take on moto racing. play it safe and keep this vehicle, or roll the dice with something unknown. It's an agonizing decision.
Of disciplines in sight. When a racing bike meets a racing car, it's a real battle for the asphalt.
For the next one, we'll put two disciplines in a head-to-head race and see which one crosses the line first. Racing car or racing bike? Which one is the best? Will it be the beautiful Ferrari 488 in its circuit version, or the KTM RC16 that we all know has great skills? I'm leaning towards the bike. It's lighter and its top speed flirts with 224 miles per hour. It's the logical choice, but aren't we here to defy the laws of logic? Racing car addicts, it's up to you to prove otherwise. Ferrari meets Red Bull.
Shame in trying again.
action.
Flash. Hear all the insights on the world of racing on Sounds of Red Bull, the official channel of motorsport.
Hey boys and girls, I hope you can keep up because we're about to go hard with the elite of motorsports, the AGP. Cars that can easily go up to 220 miles per hour. And because we always want more in this playlist, we add boost gauges. It's going to be strategic. And as always, I did my homework and talked all things racing with a pro driver. You might know him, Yuki Tsunoda.
Could you break down what you feel your driving style is for us watching you on the screen?
My dad used to teach me a lot about braking. Definitely, I like to adapt braking. Recently, last two Grand Prix was a bit too much sometimes, and yeah, unfortunately, a couple of times went to the wall. You know, it feels great when you feel the G-force, you know, with the maximum longitudinal G-force when you have nailed the great braking.
And beside braking hard, be focused at the start. It's decisive for the rest of the race.
Drivers are focused. The start is imminent. Let's go! A full AGP race, using boosts in the right place at the right time, will be decisive. Completely different race from now on. Generations, RB13, 14, 18 and 20. 7 years of evolution from Renault to Honda engines. Between them, these four account for more than 70 podiums. If you've got any extra nitro, now's the time to use it. Superb victory. Proof that RB AGP just keeps getting better and better.
RB20. You can keep it for what follows, but you can also opt for a vehicle that's a little less earthbound. The choice is yours.
The podcast, guys. As you've seen, the playground is a motorsports paradise, but there's still a place that we haven't experienced so far: the sky. I was lucky enough to feature Luke Chapella, Red Bull Air Race pilot, famous for being the first to land the plane on the very tiny helipad 600 feet in the air.
I'd love to know more about the bullseye stunt. There's an attempt, and then the plane like bounces and you keep going, and I had a heart attack and was like, oh my God.
I almost had a heart attack on the first one as well. It took me like 650 practice landings before I went for the actual landing on the helipad. So for an athlete to come out from what I thought was a failure, but that was quite challenging.
So cool. The video is online. You have to check it out. The next race is the most experimental of the playlist: AGP versus stunt plane. Place your bets. This is the second time that Red Bull is loaning you the RB20. You'll start to make a Dutch man jealous.
Unsurprisingly, the AGP has the advantage on startup, but once the plane is airborne, it's a different story. If you're a Red Bull addict, you'll probably know that this isn't the first time an AGP and a plane have been put on the same grid. Last time, it was in a straight line in a drag race. Here the plane will have to make very tight turns if it wants to keep up with the AGP, which is much more accustomed to doing so. That's really exciting. We enter the second lap. I'm sure you're familiar with the RB20 on the track today, certainly more so than its aerial rival. Stressed for 10G and capable of reaching 975 meters per minute, its size makes it the perfect aerobatic aircraft. Let's hope our pilot will give us a taste. They're neck and neck. combination of turns is tricky. When it comes to speed, the AGPs play in a different division.
One more clash to close this Red Bull playlist. This one is big. Confronting two disciplines is not enough. So MOTORFEST and Red Bull are offering you the choice of three. Which is the best? Becky asked our Red Bull athletes what they think.
In your honest opinion, between rally, AGP and motor racing, which is the most intense discipline? The one that brings the craziest sensations?
I think it's motor racing, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think F1, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'd go for Formula One.
Rallycross, moto racing, or AGP? Here comes the ultimate challenge of the playlist, but also the end of the podcast. But I'm never far away. I'm always on the air. You find all the podcasts on the Sounds of Red Bull track list. And then, I don't know why, but I feel like we'll see each other again soon. It's off to the apex of the playlist. AGP, champion of all motorsports? Yeah, it makes sense.
Who will cross the line first in this head-to-head race? Answer in, about a few minutes. The rally car has already changed its course to reach the dirt. Each vehicle has its own special route designed to match its strengths. The AGP stands out for its speed and braking quality, and of course it sticks to asphalt and is unbeatable in corners. So to make things fair, it will be racing the longest route. The bike's route, on the other hand, is shorter but ultra-technical, forcing the rider to swing through the curves without losing speed. ultimate racetrack, the Speed War. The AGP won, ladies and gentlemen, the Queen of Motorsports, the one and only.
You haven't claimed your reward for this playlist. End of Speed Clash, the first milestone in a promising relationship between Red Bull and MOTORFEST. I'm sure this is just the beginning. You've discovered a multitude of racing vehicles in this playlist, all of them motorsports gems. But we had to choose just one for the reward. We thought maybe you wouldn't mind having a Red Bull branded Ferrari in your garage. The Ferrari F48 GT3 F Corse is just for you. Giving a brand new playlist a go. How about giving a brand new playlist a go? Have you ever watched a Red Bull video of a motocross bike rider doing a backflip off a bridge and said to yourself, I've got to do that someday? Well, today you can. We're leaving motorsports behind to embrace Red Bull's extreme side. Host of MOTORFEST, the podcast on the sounds of Red Bull Radio, can't wait to introduce you to the playlist. Red Bull supplies all the vehicles: rally raid, drift, off-road motorcycles, really off-road motorcycles, speedboats, you name it. I warn you, this is the kind of playlist that goes anywhere you can imagine. On land, sea, air, asphalt, everywhere.
and girls, hope you didn't miss us too much. We're getting back to it, and this time we're going further and higher. We've kept the craziest Red Bull vehicles for this playlist. You'll have to drive these machines and push them to their extreme limits all over Maui. And because we wanted to spice things up a little bit, we called in the Daredevils. Extreme drivers that set the highest score before you, beat them and show that you are the true, the only, and the ultimate Daredevil. Well, I know I'm hyped. This is going to be mad. Let's go.
Red Bull Wild Ride. From motorsport to automobile madness, there is only one step. Another activity awaits. To sum up, you'll have to grapple with crazy vehicles in action-focused events. Before you embark on your action list, Red Bull suggests a pure rally raid confrontation with these lunatics so that you can get to know each other. Caldera, canyon, beach, and all-out jumping. That's the program. Let's go!
The cards. The Queen, Dirt and Air Specialist. The Joker, this guy's sick, but that's why he's so good on a bike. And the Ace, the Flash of Motorsports. You'll have to beat the times of these three guys in action-focused events. But this is still just our first meeting. Show them you're not here to bluff. The shock absorbers and chassis. This version is much safer.
Well, as long as you don't land on the roof. On your left. Don't be surprised by the sharp turn at the end. Introductions made. Now time for action.
Here we go for the first action list, heading for Central Maui. Perform the actions requested and beat the time already set by the Ace, the Joker and the Queen. Those specialist drivers Becky was telling you about. Drive before you do. She's Team Daredevil's stat specialist. For the car, Red Bull lends you one that belongs to Force Rally Heritage, a legacy that includes the McRae's Focus in 1999, Hibonan's Fiesta in 2011, and so the car of the day, the 2017 Ford Fiesta WRC Double World Champion 2017-18 with Sébastien Ogier. This is it. The Queen is already up and running. Take a look at her performance. It might inspire you. Here are the actions to perform: drifting, target hitting, jumping on barns, wall riding. Perform them all and do it as fast as possible.
The Queen kicks off. Keep your eyes peeled. She's not bad at this game. That was really cool. The Queen is done. She looks confident. Now get ready. In 5 seconds, it's your turn. It's on. Show the crowd that you can beat the Queen in her own speciality. The rule is simple. Perform all the actions requested as quickly as possible. Show the crowd that you can beat the Queen in her own speciality. The rule is simple. Perform all the actions requested as quickly as possible. Targets or barn roof ahead. Your choice. Ride on some more barn roofs and you're in business. again. Smash all the targets you can. That was really cool. Raise their game.
The whole thing out of the way, but you also beat the time of a specialist. That deserves a little beach break and a swim.